Everybody, how's it going? Welcome out to Oma-Ha. That's the name of the show. We're so excited to be here. My name is Cameron. I'm from Nebraska. This is a farmer's tan. Being here, I always get the question, what are you? I don't know how to answer that. I'm a Costco member. No. Like, where are you from? Oh, okay, yeah. I'm from Omaha. No, like, where's your family from? Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood the question. Yeah, they're from Omaha. No, like, where are they from originally? Oh, I see what you mean. You mean because I'm brown, I can't originally be from here because you killed all of those. So here's the thing. I'm actually a bunch of different stuff mixed up. I'm very mixed up. I'm basically what all of your grandchildren are gonna look like. But I'm mostly Pacific Islander, but not Hawaiian, okay? So it's cool, but it's not the coolest, right? It's like being rich, but because your parents died, you know? My father's from the Federated States of Micronesia, and I've actually struggled most of my life, like, claiming to be Micronesian because nobody knows, like, what that is. You know, when I was a kid, we didn't have Moana, right? Like, I couldn't just break into the rock song or do the haka and, like, break it down for people. It wasn't, like, a thing I could do, right? And so, you know, it's one of those things, like, I couldn't show people, like, on a map. You know, like, on a map, you could put a pin. You go to a restaurant, you put a pin in a map, like, to show where you're from. Like, I could never do that because if I did, I'd kill all the people on the island. It was, like, a very small thing. My girlfriend got pregnant when we were 16. MTV didn't even show up. It was just me and her and the rest of our sex ed class. It's true, we were enrolled in sex ed at the time, and I told the teacher, and she goes, "You should have taken this last semester." I'm like, dang. My son's mom and I broke up, so as a brown person, I'm 2 for 2. Over at his mom's house, he has a stepdad, and over at my house, he has, you know, people that love him, which is good. My son doesn't get along with his stepdad. Jake doesn't like him. It's because Jake has to tell him to do stepdad stuff. You know, like the other day, my son wanted to go out. He's like, "Hey, before you go outside, you need to make sure you put on some sunscreen." And my son just snapped back at him. He said, "Calm down, Jake. I do this all the time." I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I would never tolerate that kind of sass and back talk out of my kid, you know? Like, if he was talking to me, but he wasn't. And so I was like, and then what did he say? It's weird, you know, because, like, stepdad, that's a tough gig, right? Like, Jesus had a stepdad, right? Joseph. I picture everything that Joseph went through is like everything that all stepdads have gone through since. Like, you got to pretend to like the kid, you know? You know you're never going to live up to the real father. You got to go to all his concerts or crucifixions or whatever. I picture, like, Joseph takes Jesus for, like, some real stepdad stuff, you know, like, takes him out for, like, a day at the lake. He's like, "Now, Jesus, don't go too close to the water." And Jesus just starts walking on us. "Calm down, Joe." I do this all the time. Hey, everybody, my name is Cameron. We have got some great show for y'all today. Keep it going for the comedians you're about to see. I'm very excited to bring this first comedian to the stage. He's a very, very good friend of mine. He's absolutely hilarious. Please put your hands together for David Kousgaard.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. So I get told I look like a cop a lot. Like a lot. And I hate being told that because nobody ever tells you that you look like a cop as a compliment. It usually just means that they're about to go do something fun and I'm not invited. That's what it means. But seriously, I've been told I look like a cop over 30 times. I've been told I look like a cop so many times that sometimes I honestly wonder to myself, am I actually a cop? Am I just so deep undercover that I stopped reporting to a handler or a commanding officer, and I started living a totally different life? Because if that's the case, I'm a terrible cop, you guys. I have seen and committed so many crimes, and I only ever stopped one, and that was on accident. My friend was trying to buy drugs, and I was with him. And the guy he was buying them from took one look at me and said, "No, not with the goddamn cop here." It's like, yeah, that's just smart. You don't know who's a cop out here these days. I don't know if I'm a cop out here these days. I decided to find out. I got in my car and I went out and I pulled somebody over. I wrote them a ticket. I thought it was hilarious. They didn't. They were an off-duty police officer. It's a rough way to find out you're not a cop. Has anybody here ever been so broke that you thought about robbing a street performer? It seemed financially beneficial? I'm not hearing anybody say yes, so I'm assuming you all have trust funds? Is that what's going on here? You're all living well? Now, I was given that opportunity not long ago. I was walking through the old market in downtown Omaha, and there was a guy playing the saxophone, and he was jamming out about 2 or 3 feet away from his case that people were dropping money into. I walked between him and the case, and I just thought, I can take that. I mean, what's he gonna do, stop playing? No, that's unprofessional. Is he gonna chase after me while playing the saxophone? Good, he'll get winded quicker. That and my escape will be that much more triumphant because now it'll have a soundtrack to it. And it's gonna be smooth as hell. And if he did chase after me for a while, kept up with me for a little bit, wouldn't that just help his cause? We would go sprinting past people through downtown Omaha. They'd stop and turn to their friends and say, "Did you just see that guy? The guy playing Songbirds by Kenny G at a full sprint, Kevin. How did you miss him?" Giving him $10 when he comes back around, because that is art right there. It turns out he didn't give a damn about professionalism. He dropped that saxophone and chased after me right away. I would have gotten away from him, but I am horribly out of shape. Yeah, I know I'm not fat, like I'm getting there, but it's mostly out of shape, that's the problem. Like I get winded walking upstairs in video games all the time, and I decided I would try to fix this problem. I tried to get back in shape, so I went to the gym, I got on the treadmill, I was like, all right, my new life starts today. And then I ran for 3 minutes and I got a side stitch and cried in public. And I think the reason I cried was not just the physical pain of getting the side stitch, there was some mental torment that came with it, because when I was younger, like when I was in high school and a little bit into college, I was very healthy and I was very active. Like, hell, I used to run for fun. If I had 30 minutes to kill, I would just go run 3 miles. That's what I did for fun. But now I'm at a point in my life where if a guy came at me on the street with a knife, I think I would just accept that it's my time. Like, yeah, I've had a good go at this. That hurt. But not as bad as running would have. And that was probably as good a time as any to tell you that someone once gave me a self-help book as a present. Yeah. Which I took to mean that someone I knew used the opportunity of a gift to let me know that I have serious personality flaws they want me to fix. Yeah, thanks, Mom and Dad, for the book and the personality flaws. I shouldn't be too hard on my parents. They tried their best with me. They tried. They really tried to shield me and my siblings from some of the more negative aspects of life. Like some of the darker things. The perfect example I can think of this is when I was young, my parents taught me and all of my siblings bedtime prayers because we were raised in a religious household. And the first prayer that they ever taught me when I was 4 years old was the prayer, "Now I lay me down to sleep," which goes, "Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep. Guard me, Jesus, through the night. Wake me with the morning light. Amen." Now, if anybody else here knows that prayer, or if you've ever listened to the song Enter Sandman by Metallica, you know that that's not how that prayer goes. They taught me a different version. We're going to edit this out later because, there we go. Yeah, they taught me a different version because the prayer is actually supposed to go, Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. They taught me that part right. Then that prayer takes a really dark turn. And the next part goes, if I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Hands down, the best parenting decision my parents ever made was to not tell me at 4 years old that I could die in my sleep. Because I was a nightmare to try to go to bed as a kid. Could you imagine how much worse it would have been if they'd sat me down at 4 and been like, hey, you know how you go to bed every night and you wake up every morning? Well, sometimes that second part don't happen. All right, good night, bye. I get asked a lot if I'm going to have kids, because I'm married. I've been married for a couple of years now. And I don't think so. I think my wife and I are going to put it off. I did have 2 friends of mine, though. They recently told me that they were going to try to have a kid. But they didn't say that directly. They didn't say, hey, we're going to try to have a baby. What they said instead was, so we've pulled the goalie. Which I'm sure they thought would be a cute way to say that they're raw dogging it right now. But I didn't find it that cute. My first thought when they told me that was, oh no, I think my friends are going to try to save their marriage with a baby. Because I played hockey my entire life, and I know that you only pull the goalie when you're losing, when you're desperate, and you feel like you're running out of time. All right, guys, that's it for me. I'm David Kousgaard. Thank you so much.
That's David Kousgaard, everybody. Yes. All right, let's keep it moving. Our next comedian coming to the stage is a very funny guy. Please put your hands together for Ben Webb.
All right, fantastic. Good to see you all. Yes, I am new to comedy, but not new to life or a restaurant menu. Yeah, I've been nurturing this for a little while. I do know I got to do some work. So, because I'm starting to get that octomom and her second trimester look going on, you know, just a little bit too swollen. The type where, like, if I eat too much Mexican food, I can almost count the 8 pairs of feet starting to jump around with the gas bubbles, you know? It's not good. It's not a great look, you know? I did have someone ask me the other day, hey, do you know the gender? 5 tostadas and 3 enchiladas. Yeah. Oh, the birth is going to be horrendous. But the conception was so delicious. Oh, working on your sister. Yeah, doing well. Obviously, me being up here, I am a fan of the power of language. With the way you use language, you can come at somebody at their lowest point and build them up to have enough hope for another day. Or you can use it as a weapon and just decimate them, depending on how you feel. Language has power, you know? But I'm not a fan of neutered language, okay? By that I mean you're using too many words to cover up the truth of something. I just don't like that, okay? I grew up in a military household, and the military is infamous. They have never come across an acronym they didn't like. No, you're not running, it's PT. You're not eating a meal or something, it's an MRE, right? It's not battle shock or shell shock or anything like that. It's PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. That's like too much in the mouth, you know? Yeah, it hides the physical and emotional toll that war takes on you, you know? If you've ever been to downtown Omaha, I've heard them called mounted police. I've even read once, equine law enforcement officer. Come on, people. That's way too many words. Cut to the truth of the matter. Those are horsey cops. Yeah. There's such a rare opportunity for men to be cute and adorable in public, and they get paid to wear those shiny boots, and they got their helmet up on their horse that they never use to arrest anybody. They're cute, they're wonderful, they're police, they're kind of like the Queen of England. They're police officers, but kind of for show, you know? Horsey cops, yeah, they're wonderful, you know? Well, I heard an article with the electric scooters that we now have. Boy, Omaha's stepping up, aren't we? Yeah. I read an article that the law enforcement is going to be more strict in how they issue tickets because they want to protect people that are out walking on the sidewalks. Okay? The adult Ben says, that is a fantastic idea. Especially with College World Series around the corner, we're going to have tourists, families, kids. I wouldn't want to see any of them get hurt because somebody didn't use common sense. More tickets is good. The comedian Ben immediately looks to heaven. Oh, please, God, please let Omaha make the national news for an electric scooter user being chased by a horsey cop. I would be, yes, Lord, I'd be willing to endure the weeks of late night talk show host jokes just for us to have the YouTube footage to enjoy forever. Please. Gotta appreciate those horsey cops. They're lovely because that's a tight community. And they recently suffered a horrible loss. Eastwood, the police horse. Oh, I'm sorry, police horsey. Passed away after like 5 or 6 years serving on the force. Good horse. Passed away. So they're dealing with that, and they're trying to find a way to honor it. It's kind of an odd idea, but they're tight like that. So they found out that the horsey and the horsey cop, they loved roast comedy. Of all things, they loved that. So I don't even really know what a horse roast battle would sound like. Of course, I had to think of a few. Your mom's so fat that her racing name would be Ocean Biscuit. Oh, nay, you didn't. Oh, hell nay. You could call me anything you want, because all the insults you say, I'm rubber, your dad's glue. Yeah. What would it sound like, really? They were thinking about having it at the funeral itself, but they scrapped that because they didn't want to beat a dead horse. Yeah. Be too disrespectful, so they're just cutting that out. I applaud them for that. Are there any parents here in the audience? Okay, got a few. You can tell the energy is like, reluctant. Yeah, we are. We're surviving. I myself, I am a father of none because my ex-wife was as fertile as she was happy. Every time I get laughs for that, I heal more inside. So thank you for helping me. But there would be different jokes that you'd be able to tell your son or daughter. I would like to be a father someday, Have a little son kind of coming in, just finished lunch, kind of pick the little guy up. Hey, buddy, how's it going? Yeah, no fingers in the mouth. That's right. I heard this story. You want to hear? Okay, great. There was this one poacher, a very bad hunter, okay? Don't be like a poacher. He got sentenced by a judge to watch Bambi once a month for a whole year. No, I know you like Bambi, just listen, okay? Because it was going to instill empathy in him for what he did, okay? I heard this other story that this judge, it wasn't his first time doing that. Yeah. There was this one guy that had messed with his ex-wife's diabetes medication to the point where her legs swelled up so painful, she almost had to have them amputated. Yes, I know that's a big word. I'll teach you. And don't mess with mommy's medication anymore. I know you grew that mustache one time. It was funny for daddy, but not so much for you, right? Yes. Don't do that, okay? This guy sentenced that man to watch Mulan for once a month for a whole year. You know why? Because he tried to defeat his Hun. Eh? Yeah. Oh yeah, you can go play outside. Go ahead. Yeah. Thank you, my son. Thank you, progeny of my loins. Tell that joke wherever you go and be popular like daddy. Yes. God bless you. Thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Ben Webb, everybody. Yes. Super excited. All right, we're down to your last comedian of the night. I want you to keep it loud. Bring it to the stage right now, Miss Stephanie Hillier.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much. Guys, one more time, give a round of applause to our host, Sir Cameron. Heck yeah. That's nice. I love Cameron. He even asked me, like, how do you say your last name? I want to make sure I pronounce that right. It's Hillier, which is nice. He said it's like 5 people in America know how to say that. Hillier. Doesn't sound complicated, but I've heard Hyler, Hillard, or the telemarketer called my house. Is Mrs. Hitler in? Oh, yeah, Mrs. Hitler. Thanks for letting me know that my name is like one consonant away from like a world dictator. Makes you fuzzy. And I can't get mad. She's a telemarketer. There could have been a typo in the script. Maybe she's really tired. She's been working really hard. She just ran through it, so I politely just corrected her. 9! And she never called back. It works great both ways, right? We're good. Oh, thank you guys for coming out. This is really cool. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. Thank you. Wow, woo! We got Detroit people. All right. That's super cool because, when I moved out here, it was like a culture shock. And I didn't realize how many differences in Omaha there were to Detroit. One of them was it's still sticking with me, makes me sweat in the back of my throat here. You guys are doing it right now. You're making eye contact? Yeah, creepy. You don't have to do that. We don't do that in Michigan. We talk to each other while we're looking at our feet. It's like, how are you doing? That's cool. You having a good day? You don't have to make eye contact. That's intimidating. That's a little much. That's like, you don't make eye contact unless you want something, like really want something, like a dude's wallet. That's the time to, yeah. And the other thing is we don't have Hy-Vees in Michigan. That's not our thing either. So I was like, I came to the Hy-Vee out here, and it's weird. You guys had baggers. Which, I was stunned. Like, we don't have that in Michigan. We don't have baggers. We have beggars. Yeah, okay. And they're a little similar, except yours, I don't know, shower, changes clothes, smells real good. Good job, you. Yeah. Look, whatever the funding is in that project, do not lose the funding. It's downhill. I was at the Hy-Vee, and my bagger was just going through my groceries and packing away, and then I don't know how else to put it. It just happened this way. He just grabbed my melons, just there. But the weird thing is then he raised his eyes and made eye contact with me. Creepy. And he wanted to address me. He said, would you like me to follow you out to the car with these? Yeah. Follow me out to my car with my groceries? Hell no! I'm sorry, but I'm originally from Detroit, and ladies, back me up with this too. If a guy wants to follow you back to your car, he's just after one thing. It's true, and that's to steal your car. I'm not falling for that again. Just filled the tank on it. I'm not doing it again. I know you can tell right now, like, I don't have a whole lot going for me, but what I do have, I feel like I'm like a Walmart brand Melissa McCarthy. Some of you got it. Yeah, some of you got it. Some of you are like, what? Is this got it for you? I can make it go higher. Thing is, I really can't. She's awfully talented. That hurts. That's really... Can't do that joke much longer. A little bit else about myself is, I bet you can tell right off the bat, I'm a classy kind of chick. I am. I'm classy. Like, there's subtle levels of class. I'm not classy like, I don't know what wine goes with the chicken or fish. Yeah, that eludes me. But I'll tell you this. After finishing a box of wine, sometimes 2, you don't understand my Thursdays. That's the thing. Best thing to go with that is a late night drive to Taco Bell, right? And I'll even bring tacos back for my friends, I'm very courteous like that. And I'll even put guacamole on everything. I don't even like guacamole. I can live without it, but it's one of the most expensive things on the Taco Bell menu. Did you know that? 39 cents a squirt plus tax. Yeah, ooh, you're starting to think, wait, I shot $1, $2, $3, $5 later on like 8 burritos. Wait a minute. They're treating it like it's diamond dust. They need to calm down. But I'm just saying I know how to spend my money, and that's classy. I'll tell you something, too. On my email recently, I got this email saying, happy anniversary. I was like, cool. I mean, I'm not dating anybody, and, this is kind of a self-employment thing. No one's going to, pat me on the back. I'm like, what am I? It was from my gym. Yeah. All right, so now go ahead, get it out and laugh. She has a gym membership. No, it was from my gym, and they said, happy anniversary. This is your 1-year anniversary to be with our gym. And I was like, it's really just like a notice like, happy anniversary, you wasted $120 and never did anything with it, thanks. And that's ugly. That's 365 days of a 365 opportunities that I put aside that I never used. That is an ugly cycle. So last week I thought that's got to stop. I went into the gym and I broke the cycle. I broke the hell out of that cycle. Busted it. I've never been on one before. What do you want from me? Nobody wanted to help me. It was weird. And they tell you that no judgment. It's a judgment-free zone. They judged the heck out of me when I walked out of that gym. They're like, you just busted up our... Well, yes, I did. Congratulations. Thanks. Why don't you use my $120 to fix your bicycle? Now we'll all celebrate. A little bit too, I took a temp job years ago, and if you've ever been a part of a temp jobs suck. Yeah, you go into a building you've never been into before with people who never talk to you. You're just like you're like a redheaded stepchild. So they didn't help me much. And I'd been in this job and in this little cubicle for hours. Nobody told me like when break times were. No one came by to say hi or hey, welcome to the team or whatever. And it had been like 4.5 hours. And all of a sudden I realized like, oh, I got up and I was stiff. Now, I was in my cubicle, which has partitioned walls, and that's where your privacy lives. So I felt private enough to kind of like, my pants were a little... I know, I just said I was classy. Now I'm yanking my pants on television. You got that? I'm that classy. Now, what I didn't realize was, while I was doing this, is that this is all partitioned off, but behind me, in the all-important fourth wall that's missing, that door that's open, that's where my supervisor's staying. So she decides to come out and talk to me. This is the time she feels to get to know me, where she goes, oh, pants a little loose? You must be losing weight. I said, no, the elastic's just shot in this pair, but thanks for noticing. Feels sexy. I should have asked earlier if there were any nuns in the audience. There aren't any nuns in the audience, right? We're cool? Awesome. It's not that I'm afraid of nuns or anything. It's just recently we did a show in Council Bluffs, and it was a private affair for, a little anniversary for a wedding couple, and they wanted like a really filthy show. So a bunch of the comics and I went out there. We were giving them a really filthy show. We were at this bar. It was really crazy. When I got up there, I let the big JC go. And I didn't know, because in Detroit, that's the bottom level. You're not really, this woman spoke right up. Could you choose another phrase, please? And I thought, that's hilarious. I mean, this guy just talked about Eiffel Towering and everything else. I mean, what are you, a nun? She was a plainclothes nun. I didn't know you guys had those either. And I felt bad, because had I known, I never would have done that. I'm Catholic raised, so I don't want to go to hell for a $500 gig. That's not okay. So I told her, I'm like, I'll tell you this joke. It's really super funny. See, my sister just had a baby, and she was trying to name it, and I feel that you should really think about the first child you have. Naming is important. And she named her kid Candy. And I was kind of like, Candy, like not Candace or Cassandra with a... No, that's what's going to go on her passport. That's what she's going to be called from K through 12, Candy. And I was like... with a name like that, she's just going to be swimming in body glitter and daddy issues. I don't know what else to say. It's not good for her. This woman got her coat on and started to get up. Her name was Candy. I'm sorry, you can't be an undercover nun named Candy, okay? That's ridiculous. That's like being known as Sister Cinnabon. It's never going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. My name's been Stephanie Hillier. Let's get Cameron back out here.
One more time for Stephanie Hillier, everyone. Yeah. All right, that's our show. Thank you so much for coming out. Make sure you keep watching. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks.